All right, I need to share something with you guys, and some of you might be able to relate to this, and it's something that I am trying to work on. I'm afraid and mostly uncomfortable to go see the doctor. And I'm not sure why really, because I'm pretty healthy for my age, and at least to my knowledge, I don't have anything wrong with me. So I'm not really sure why I have that fear. I think though, if I really think about it, I don't want there to be anything wrong with me. And I don't necessarily want to know if there's something wrong, which seems counterintuitive because, right, if I was able to know about something early and catch it early, that would be in my best interest to know as soon as possible so that I could take steps to fix or treat whatever it was. All I can really tell you is that's how I feel, and I know that I'm not alone. I also know that I can't bury my head in the sand and not get myself checked out from time to time. Now, even though I feel really good and I don't have any physical pain or anything, I know I need to do a better job of taking care of myself and getting checked out on a regular basis. Not only that, but I want the same thing for all of you. And if you feel the same way that I do, I think it's time right now that we all strap on our big boy pants and go make an appointment to get some of these things that I'm about to discuss checked out so that we can make sure that we're around for as long as possible. Now, I should also make a disclaimer here that I'm not a doctor and you should go consult your own doctor for any specific medical advice for you. I'm here to help inspire you as someone who wants the best for you and also for myself. And I think part of that is, of course, going to see your doctor for some of the things that I'll talk about today in this video, especially if you're in your 40s or beyond and you haven't had any of this stuff checked out yet. Okay, the first uncomfortable thing that you need to do over 40 is have your prostate checked. I read recently that prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer in adult males in the US, right after skin cancer. And I think a biopsy is the only way to really tell or confirm if you actually have prostate cancer. But the digital exam and the PSA test can determine whether or not they need to take additional steps to be sure. So the digital exam, or the DRE, is when the doctor puts a glove on and sticks his finger right up your butthole and feels your prostate, looking for lumps, hard spots, or any nodules.
You know, if I did some sit-ups in the morning or bent over like this, I'd probably feel 100% better. Moon River. Whew. Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
The blood test, or the PSA test, involves taking a blood sample and then sending that off to a lab. High levels of PSA don't necessarily mean that you have cancer, but it does mean they might need to take a closer look. All right, the next thing is to have a complete blood panel done. So I just had mine done recently, and I discovered that my cholesterol is a little bit high. Now, my doctor doesn't recommend any medication like a statin, but she did recommend a better diet and more exercise because my numbers weren't really that far off. We did a complete panel, including cholesterol, testosterone, cancer, prediabetes, and some other tests that showed, I think it was blood cell counts, liver function, and fasting insulin. And as it turns out, I'm not pre-diabetic, and I'm not at high risk of cancer. My testosterone was a little bit low, but still above the normal range for my age. So at this point, she didn't recommend TRT. But I did mention to her that that was something that I'm possibly interested in exploring at some point. So if you don't get a complete panel done, it's still very important to have a cholesterol screening at minimum because they need to check your HDL and your LDL. So LDL is your low density lipoprotein, or the bad cholesterol. And high levels of LDL raise your risk of heart disease and stroke. HDL is the high density lipoprotein, the good cholesterol, because this absorbs cholesterol and shoots it back to your liver so that it can be flushed out of your body. High levels of HDL can also lower your risk of heart disease and stroke. And the next uncomfortable thing that some of you might have to deal with is finally making a decision on what to do with your thinning hair. This is a very hard decision because you basically have two options. Either buzz it short and own it, or do something about it to keep what you have left. But you shouldn't be somewhere in between, because wearing a baseball hat every day or growing a comb over probably isn't something that's going to work for you long term. And that's why Keeps is sponsoring this video, because the best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it now while you still have hair left. Keeps is a subscription service that focuses on making it a lot easier and a lot more affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness online, with online doctor consultations with a real doctor, automated shipping and delivery right to your home, constant access to your doctor through online messaging, and by offering generic options of the FDA-approved medications for hair loss. With Keeps, a licensed doctor reviews all of your information online and then recommends the right hair loss treatment plan for you. Then your treatment is shipped right to your door every 3 months. It's that simple. The sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you can save. So if you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/fashion or just click that first link down in the description. Use our link to receive a special offer on Keeps treatments. That's keeps.com/fashion. Okay, the next uncomfortable thing that you need to do is have a colonoscopy. Yes, that's right. This is where they jam a long tube up your butthole with the camera at the end of it that allows the doctor to see what's going on in there. They're looking for polyps and other types of abnormal tissue. They can then take some tissue samples for biopsy to check for colon cancer. I mean, even if you have abnormal pain or regular constipation or regular diarrhea, this can also help locate those possible causes. If your doctor finds any polyps, they can be removed to reduce your risk of colon cancer. And if you're age 50 or older, like I am, this is something you really need to start thinking about, me included. All right, coming in next is getting your blood pressure tested and monitored. And this one's really not so bad, right? You can even get blood pressure devices that connect to your phone so that you can keep track of how you're doing on like a daily and weekly basis. High blood pressure or hypertension is called the silent killer because it hardens your arteries, which can then lead to heart attack and stroke. Also, high blood pressure causes your blood vessels to bulge, forming an aneurysm. And as you know, if and when that aneurysm ruptures, you can drop dead with no warning. So listen, if you're overweight, if you smoke, if you eat a lot of foods high in salt, or if you drink a lot of alcohol, you need to start monitoring this. But again, get a device yourself on Amazon and start checking it at home. And because I mentioned skin cancer earlier in the video, the next thing you need to have done over 40 is a skin cancer screening. This is just a visual exam of your skin done by a doctor or a dermatologist. They're going to check all your moles and birthmarks and look for other unusual marks on your skin that might have like an abnormal color, shape, or size. Now, melanoma is rare, but it's very aggressive, and you want to catch this early. And the whole exam usually takes no more than about 10 minutes. If they do find anything abnormal, they can take a biopsy and then send that off to a lab. Now, if you need to have a mole removed, it's generally no big deal. I had one removed on my upper back when I was a kid. Now, one thing that I will say is that it's best to get checked in your early 40s so that you can establish a baseline. Then as you age, your doctors can use any new information to see how much things may have changed, if at all. So if you're in your early 40s, I would encourage you to go in and start getting checked because it could absolutely save your life. And listen, if you made it this far in the video, please tap that like button to help other guys see this video. And with that, my friends, as always, thank you very much for watching. Live well, and I'll see you in the next one.